Hey guys, how you doing? Ray here again. If you'd like to subscribe, it's Nitro Show. Today guys, what I want to do is I'm going to do a 4-part video section on these guys, nitro buggies. It will apply obviously to anything with a nitro engine in this form: truck, car, buggy, truggy. And I'm going to cover break-in in one video. I'm going to cover tuning in another video. I'm going to cover maintenance, and in this video we're going to do troubleshooting. And so let's get started and try to keep this video under 10 minutes so you guys don't have a long video. Any of you guys who know me out there know I keep notes of everything I do. That keeps your mind fresh, guys, and you can always refer back to these if you forget something. Today we're going to go through the troubleshooting of these cars, which for a lot of new people in the hobby it can be a pretty big headache. So let's get started. The first section we're going to cover is what do you do if the engine won't start. And I'm going to cover the problems and some of the solutions. You'll probably scratch your head and say, why are you even telling us? That's kind of common sense, but sometimes you don't know. First one is obviously out of fuel. If you got no fuel in your tank, you're going to fill the tank up, guys. That's a pretty simple one. A big one that a lot of guys fall upon is a contaminated fuel. Obviously, you're going to, if you leave the fuel in there a long time, it could become contaminated. Dump it out and put new fuel in there. You want to store your fuel in a cool, dark area, guys. Usually a cellar, something like that. A lot of times we have all done it, forget to charge our glow igniter. Obviously just charge that up. If you get the ones, the aftermarket, the good ones with the meters on the ends of them that tells you the battery strength so you know if it's charged or not, that will definitely help you out. Glow plugs don't last forever. Those can wreak havoc. That's a big part of these engines, is that little glow plug. That's always something to take out, check, and change. Usually you can just take those out, guys, put your glow igniter, hold it into the glow igniter and see if it's still lighting up orange. Even then it could still light up, but still be bad, so keep that in mind too. If the engine, let's see what else here, if the engine is flooded, that's basically if you've primed it too much and put too much fuel in there. A lot of times you can tell if the rope, if you got a pull start, gets jammed. Just take the glow plug out, dump it upside down, guys. Dump any of the fuel out, dry out the glow plug, or replace it, put it back in, it should be fine. What I do when I'm priming these, you can, I pull off the line to the back pressure line on the exhaust and just blow through it until I see the fuel just get to the tip of the carburetor and then stop. The exhaust, if it's blocked, obviously it's not going to start, but that's pretty much something you can see right off the bat. The air cleaners, you don't want a dirty air cleaner on there. That's a big part of these engines, guys. Make sure you regularly maintenance, clean that and re-oil it. Don't put a ton of oil in there. That can cause the engine to run rich and give you problems too. And that's it for the engine won't start section. The next one's going to apply to guys with pull starts. If the engine is flooded, that's not gonna, you're not going to be able to pull it. Like I said, dump out the fuel and try it again. If the rope is jammed, sometimes you got to replace the pull start if it's jammed up or broken. If the engine is seized up, obviously if you've overheated it to the point where you've seized it up, you'd have to pull the engine apart and see in that case. Next one is what if it starts and then stalls on you, guys. That could be caused by a variable of things. One is the idle speed could be set too low, or it just is not staying idling. You know, it's just too low, and you've got to increase that a little bit. You can get air bubbles in the fuel line. That can cause trouble. Also, you can get holes, little pinholes in the fuel lines. and that would definitely cause trouble. Replace the fuel line, obviously. Glow plugs get fouled out, you know, like I said, replace those. If the engine is starting and stalling too, it could be a result of overheating. You let it cool down, recheck your mixture on your high speed, make sure it's got enough. I made a video recently or over the summer and somebody said, oh, that thing don't look like it's right, you got a ton of smoke pouring out of it. And it's like, guys, if you don't have smoke pouring out of it, you're in trouble. You have to have smoke coming out of these exhaust pipes, okay? It's an oil fuel mixture. The oil is what's lubricating. If you don't see oil, that's a bad thing coming out if you don't see the smoke. Let's see what else here. We already covered really the exhaust fitting there being clogged up. So let's move on to the sluggish or poor performance of it. Obviously the high-speed mixture could be too rich, causing that you know, to bog down and blow a lot of smoke. Glow plug could be loose, make sure that's tight also. You can have also in that regard, the same as up there, bad or contaminated fuel. You know, check for a carburetor that's blocked or dirty. You know, engine over, let's see, you know, if you're running these in high grass, you can cause these things to overheat too. You're putting a lot of stress and strain on them, and that could cause overheating. Also, your bad clutch is slipping on you, and if something got into your drivetrain and bound it up, that could also cause the sluggish bad performance. If some weeds or something got in there and tangled around your drive shafts. Now, if the engine overheats, this section, it's usually around the high speed, like I said, needle, which is controlling from mid to a full speed. It could be too lean. You're not getting enough cooling, enough air in there. You've got an excessive nitro fuel mix. I like to run 20%. Excessive load on the engine goes back to high grass, bound up, you know, running it in mud, where the engine's struggling. And also the low speed needle, okay, could be too lean too. The next one we're going to cover here is if it hesitates or stumbles out of the gate. That could also be the high speed mixture is too lean. Could be a low speed mixture is too rich. And also again in that you can also go back to some of the other stuff is repeated air bubbles in the fuel line or fouled out glow plug. If the engine stalls instantly, okay, when the throttle is nailed full open, that can be a result too of a glow plug. Low speed and high speed both. The low speed in that case would be too lean and the high speed would be too rich. So you really have to dial those in, which we're going to talk about later in our tuning section. And the last one really is the engine stalls when going around turns, and that's usually a result of the fuel in the tank swashing and swishing around and not getting where it should be to go through your line, depending if you have like a clunk system or how your gas tank is set up. Remember guys, glow plugs and air filters are two of the big keys to these engines. Keeping that air filter clean and re-oiled and keeping a fresh glow plug in there and not running these things too lean. If you run these engines too lean, guys, you're going to ruin them eventually. An engine like this should last through about 10 gallons of fuel, if not more, before you'd have to replace it. And you say 10 gallons don't sound like a lot. That's a lot of fuel, guys, because these tanks are small. So that's many years of performance, unless you're racing. Racing is going to be different, because you're using it obviously a lot more. And basically that's it for our troubleshooting, guys. Those are the big keys and the main things to check out. And like I said, look for my other, I'm going to put out 3 more videos. I'm going to put out a break-in one, I'm going to put out a maintenance one and a tuning one. So I thank you for watching, And I hope that this gives you a little insight to any issues or problems you're having with these guys. I tried to run through these pretty quick, so if you need to watch it again, because some people complain if the videos are too long, they lose interest. So try to keep it under 10 minutes. Thanks for watching, guys.